The Bible has much to say about gratitude as well as the lack of it. God knows how we are made, and He designed us to thrive when we are humble, moral, and thankful. When we are arrogant, immoral, and ungrateful, we cannot have fellowship with Him, nor can we experience all it means to be created in the image of God. So God included repeated commands in His Word about being thankful, reminding us that a grateful heart is a happy heart. Ingratitude is a sin with severe repercussions. Romans chapter 1 gives a detailed description of the downfall of a person or a society. Listed along idolatry and every kind of rebellion is unthankfulness. We read, "Because that, when they knew God, they glorified Him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened." This tells us that God takes gratefulness and ungratefulness very seriously. As long as a person or a culture remains thankful to God, they retain sensitivity to His presence. Thankfulness toward God requires a belief in God at the very least, and ingratitude fails to fulfill our responsibility to acknowledge Him. When we refuse to be thankful or to express gratitude, we grow hard-hearted and proud. We take for granted all God has given us, and we become our own gods. In the book of Luke is recorded Jesus' healing of the 10 lepers and gives an example of how highly God values thankfulness. Jesus healed all 10 men, but only one returned to thank Him. The Bible specifically records that the thankful leper was not even a Jew. He was a Samaritan, a fact that drove home the idea that Jews were not the only people who could reach the heart of God. The Lord notices those who thank Him regardless of socio-political status or level of spirituality. His questions, "Were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9?" show His disappointment at the ingratitude of the majority. 2 Timothy describes what people will be like in the last days, and one characteristic is ingratitude. We read, "For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy." When pride and self-rule become fashionable, the human heart has no one to thank. We become convinced of our own supremacy and consider all we have as a just reward for our efforts. We are wise to heed Paul's rhetorical questions. For who makes you different from anyone else? What do you have that you did not receive? If you did receive it, why do you boast as though you did not? Ingratitude towards God is not so much a cause of evil, but the result of it. Once we have hardened our hearts to the point that we can no longer see God as the source of our gifts, nothing is off limits. We become a law unto ourselves. One reason the Bible takes such a strong stance against unthankfulness and ingratitude may be that God knows that the end result of such arrogance is a reprobate mind. What does reprobate mean? It is a depraved, unprincipled, or wicked person, a drunken reprobate, a person rejected by God and beyond hope of salvation. When we remind ourselves often that all we are and all we have is a gift from God, we are guarding ourselves against idolatry and pride. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning.